Hi everyone, Lori from Boho Bevy Boutique here. Hope you're having a good day. I wanted to show you this box that I'm going to make tonight. I've already done some work on it. I used my Harper mold to mold some letters, these little air dry clay letters, and I used them with some Friend Chic finishing coat with Friend Sheen Green Goddess metallic powder in the finishing coat to paint my letters in a little swag that says Bloom. So I've already added that to the box. Now I want to decoupage with this Cherry Blossom, which is one of my favorite papers. I absolutely love this paper. I only have a couple left. Hopefully my order will get in soon because this has been very popular paper, Cherry Blossoms. You can find it, this and everything else, on my website, bohobevyboutique.com. And if you're local to Bristol, Wisconsin, you can find it at my booth at Cool School Antique Mall. So you can find everything I'm going to use tonight at those locations. So I'm going to place the paper. I want to get the bees as well as this bloom in the corner on here, on the top. So I'm going to position it, and I want to do the water paintbrush method because I want to get kind of a ragged edge. I don't want it to be completely clean. I want it to be raggedy around the edges. So I'm going to take a small brush and dip it in my water. I've got my water bottle here. So I'm going to dip the brush in the water, and I'm just going to come with the brush along the paper with the water, and it doesn't have to be perfect because I really want it to be imperfect. So I'm just going to tear the paper away on the top to make kind of a raggedy edge, and I'm going to continue around. Make sure that I have the flowers that I want in my circle of water. And I'm just going to continue to tear the paper away. Keep going around. Lightly brushing water and then tearing the paper. Like I said, perfectly imperfect, just the way I want it. This is the whole point of the water method, is to have a nice raggedy edge that will hopefully blend in nicely to the top of this box, is my hope. So I'm just going to tear that away. And I have a nice little paper with raggedy edges that I'm going to decoupage on the top. Now I also want another bloom that I'm going to put down on the other edge, down by Bloom. I want to have this flower in the corner here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the water to surgically remove the flower from the paper. Have to be careful. I don't want to get water on my other paper that I just did. And I'm going to put this other flower right next to the word Bloom on the front side of this box. And this box is cool. You could use it for just about anything. You could use it for your craft supplies. You could use it for gardening tools, although I think it's too pretty for gardening tools. You could use it for files if you wanted to keep your bills. You could, or your receipts for your business you could put in here for the year. I'm not sure what I'm going to use mine for, but I think it's cute, and it's actually a pretty good size box, so you could fit a lot of stuff in here. So I got it at Hobby Lobby, of course. As you've noticed, I do a lot of shopping at Hobby Lobby. It's a bit of a problem. Don't know if anyone else has that problem, but it's my therapy. I like to go to Hobby Lobby and just browse around and find pretty things. So it's one of my favorite spots, and I always find things that that I can use for these demos. So it's a win-win, in my opinion. So I am going to go ahead and set that paper to the side. This is the bloom that I've just surgically removed with my paintbrush and water, and that's going to go on the front. So I'm going to lay that to the side. Tonight I'm going to use Wise Owl 1 Hour Enamel for my medium, water-based medium, to put this top paper on and the other paper. So I'm just going to squeeze some, getting a little messy here. I'm going to squeeze some on my little, I have these little white containers that I use for my paint. Comes in really handy. And I'm gonna just dip my brush in and get a nice coat of medium on the top of this box. I actually already put one coat down earlier just to kind of seal it well. So now I'm going to put a second coat of Wise Owl 1 Hour Enamel. And I'm just going to put it to the edges, since I've already done that with the first coat. And you want to make sure that your medium is very even and that you've covered every spot, because the spots that you miss may cause the paper to bubble. So you want to make sure that's not the case. So I'm going to lay the paper down on the medium, and I'm just going to use my fingers. Actually, I'm going to grab a piece of saran wrap that I have over here. Bubble wrap, sorry, not saran wrap, bubble wrap. And I'm going to use the bubble wrap to gently put the paper down and get the bubbles out. You can do it with your fingers, but I find that using the bubble wrap really helps get the bubbles out. And I can see here that I got to do some touch up with the medium, which is okay. I'm just gonna make sure that I have plenty of medium there. Nothing wrong with going back and touching up. So I've got the paper sticking nicely. And now I'm just gonna use another coat of Wise Owl on top of the paper, being careful as I apply it, so because the paper's wet, so you want to be a little bit careful when you're applying the top coat. You don't want to tear your paper. And don't have a freak out moment, because when you put this medium on the top, your paper will bubble, as I can see it bubbling up right now, but it's okay. No panic, because when it dries, all these bubbles will be gone. So I'm not gonna freak out. I'm just gonna continue to put my medium on, knowing that at the end of the day, all the bubbles will disappear. We call it the decoupage freak-out moment that most people have, thinking that they've totally destroyed their piece, when they have not, and it will be perfect once it dries. So I'm just gonna make sure the medium is on nice and even. And I really like the way that this paper is kind of disappearing right into the top. I really like the way that that's looking. So I'm happy with the raggedy edge that I did, because it's really looking pretty. And then I'm going to take the other piece of paper that I surgically removed, and I'm going to apply the medium to the spot that I want to put it next to the word bloom. Again, making sure that there's a nice solid layer. Actually, I'm going to put a little more on to make sure I'm not missing any. And then I'm going to take the flower and I'm going to place it where I want it on the medium. I'm going to use my bubble wrap again. Always keep spare bubble wrap. You never know when you're going to need it again. And I'm going to apply it to the flower. And again, I'm liking the way that that's really kind of disappearing into the box. Happy with the way that that's looking. I'm just gonna again use a little more to make sure that this is gonna lay down on the side, and I need a little more right here. Make sure that that's gonna lay down, and then again I'm gonna put a layer of medium on top of the paper. Making sure that I evenly add it. And again, not gonna freak out that it's bubbling up again, because once it dries, it'll be perfect. And voila! I love it. It really, the paper's just blending right into the box, just like I had hoped. And when it dries, it should be really kind of cool. And I have one more element that I'm gonna add. I have this butterfly hanging out. So I was thinking of putting him on the side. Do that, or I could put him on the back side. I don't know. What do you think? I think I'm gonna put him on the back side just to add a little element to the other side of the box. So I'm gonna put the transfer on, and then I'm gonna take my transfer stick and I'm gonna burnish the butterfly down onto the box. And you have to kind of push a little hard and hard and even, put a little muscle into him. So it's going to take a minute to get him to adhere. So I'm pushing down pretty hard. I'm actually going to use just a little corner of the stick to really press down. Get him to stick. And you know, it's gonna take me a minute, so I'm going to continue to work on it until he's ready. And so here's my finished box. And I'll let you guys see it when it's completely dry and completely done. Isn't that adorable? I love it. Cherry Blossom is the paper. Harper is the mold with the words. And you can find all of this on my website, bohobevyboutique.com. And again, if you're local, Cool School Antique Mall, booth 13, where I have all these supplies as well. So I hope you guys have a good night, and thanks for hanging out with me. All right, take care. Bye.